thanks for joining me today. This is my DIY project and these are the items I used. The full list will be in the description box below. I'll be using 1/2 inch pipes, PVC pipes, and I'll be cutting them into 1 inch pieces. Then I'll take my chopping mat from the Dollar Tree, it's 2 to a pack. Then I'll mark each piece into 2-inch sections, so I'll get 7 pieces from each mat. So I'll end up with 14 pieces. But for this project, we're only using 13 pieces. Measure both ends and draw a straight line to connect them. Next, you're going to dress up the ends. Just cut a curve on each corner. So we ended up with 14 pieces, but you're gonna use this first piece to practice so you don't mess up the rest of them, and that's what I did. You want it to curve a little bit so it will overlap each other before you push it through the pipe. And the rough side will be on the outside, that way when you spray paint it, the spray will stick to it. Then you can use a pencil to help guide it through the pipe. You want to pay close attention to what I'm doing here. Just make sure it's overlapping first before you push it through the pipe because you want it to be as smooth as possible. Just keep it in the overlapping position until you run the pipe from one end to the other about 3 times so it can hold the curve. Then I went outside and I spray painted them. Now it's time to add the glitter. I'll be adding my fine glitter first, and I'm using Mod Podge, and then I will go over it with the larger glitter. And I'm only putting it on the 2 end pieces. None of it is going on the PVC. Off camera, I took a black Posterboard and I layered it with Mod Podge, 2 light layers, just to give it a nice shine before I lay down the pieces. And while that's drying, I'll be working on the frame. And for the frame, I'm using Foamboard, and I'll be painting the backside of it brown. The Foamboard have 2 layers of paper on either side, and normally if it gets wet, it will shrink. So I'm just gonna paint the end of it, the same spot where I'm gonna paint the front. I'm not sure if it will shrink since I'm not gonna paint all of it, but I'm just doing it to be safe because I didn't want this frame to get messed up. So I just used the cheapest paint that I have for the back. And for the front, I'll be using this black and white paint that I have. I need gray and I don't have gray, so I'm just mixing both of them together to get the color that I want. And I'll be painting it 2 inches in. And I just left the paint bottles on top of it, so in case it wanted to shrink, but it didn't shrink, it stayed flat, which was nice. Now the Posterboard is all dry and I'm gonna measure out the piece that I want. I'm leaving 1.5 inch for the border. So my Posterboard will measure 17 by 27 inches. This is a 20 by 30 foam board that I'm using, the one from the Dollar Tree. And for this part, you want to use school glue. I did not have any, so I used hot glue, but you need to use school glue so you won't have any bumps. And I just play with the pieces until I was satisfied with how it looks. After I was satisfied with where it's situated, then I use my hot glue to glue them down. And you want to put the hot glue where if it's running, it's gonna run on the inside because you want your work to be neat. So I'll be taking a separate piece of foam board, and to make the border I'll use a pencil and just mark around the edge 3/4 of an inch, and then I use my sharp knife to cut it out. And you want to use a sharp knife because the shape won't look as neat and nice if you use a knife that's gonna snap. And then I use hot glue to glue it in place. I painted it white. I took off the top layer before I painted. I just paint the foam part of it. So I paint it white on the top, and on the inner section of the border I use the same gray paint and I paint that area. And for the hook in the back, I'll be using this 18 gauge aluminum wire, and I'll cut 2 pieces and put them on either side in the back, and I'm just using hot glue for that. And then I'm using thumbtacks for the wall. And here's the finished look. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this one and if you would give it a try. Thanks to my subscribers for keep coming back, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I upload a new video every week, every Friday, and you'll be among the first to know if you select the bell icon when you subscribe. See you next Friday. Take care now.